Check it out, NGEN Radio. Welcome, it's Marcus in the morning. Special guest. When I say I was waiting on this one, I got it. And we've all been blessed right here this morning on the show. Y'all hear me talk about him all the time, play a lot of his music. And I call him the king of CHH, fraternity brother, Mr. Lecrae. What's happening, sir?
What's going on, Fi?
Man, long time. Hadn't had a chance to talk to you. I was on another station last time that we chatted, man, and I'm over here at NGEN, and it's a blessing to be able to talk music, life, and hip hop and business all on the platform, man. So how are things going in the world of Lecrae?
It's lit. I'm not gonna complain. You know what I'm saying? I'm surviving out here in this whole world that we got going on. I'm feeling creative. I'm in the lab. I'm like, man, it's a good space.
Man, I was just talking about it on the air today, and I was asking all of the listeners, what is one thing that you are thankful about today, or how's Christ moving in your life today? And I guess I'll start right there before we dive in.
Yeah, I think, man, for me, it's probably been healthy for me to have some time to just sit and reflect. I did a lot of spiritual deconstruction over the last few years, and now I've been reconstructing and just, God has just really been solidifying me and just connected me in different spaces and places that I just never really imagined, man. It's sometimes it's hard to see yourself outside of how everybody else sees you and just be who God made you to be. And that's where I'm at right now.
Man, it's interesting that you just said it, because I think I want to say I was scrolling the streets of Facebook when I saw your message, and it said, man, I can love God and I'm not churchy or something. It's so many people of us. Did I say that right? It's so many people of us just like that. Can you break that down, bro?
Yeah, I was saying, I love Jesus, but I'm not churchy. And I used to be ashamed of that, you know what I mean? Because a lot of times I think the Christian culture is in America specifically, will kind of force itself on you and say, well, you have to talk like this or you have to dress like this. And it won't tell you have to, but it's just kind of like, if you don't assimilate and kind of move this way, then people gonna side eye you.
Yeah.
And man, I just been really comfortable in my skin and just being like, man, look, and there's no way you could say I'm not a follower of Christ, but I don't fit certain molds, and that's okay.
Yeah.
And if you do, that's okay.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And that's just where I'm at with it right now. It's like, man, when I say churchy, it don't mean I don't like fellowshipping with believers.
Right.
But when I say churchy, it means there's certain things. It's kind of like if you say, man, I'm from the South, but I'm not really Southern culture like that. I don't really eat grits, or I don't like, certain things. It's like, man, there's certain cultures in churches that I don't really fall in line with. There's certain things that are done that that's not my thing. And that's okay,
Yeah.
and be okay with that, as long as you following Christ.
Lecrae inside of Marcus in the morning on NGEN Radio, and I'm so glad you just said that, bro, because there's gonna be so many people that see this or even hear this back that go, you know what, I'm like that too, and you know what, it is okay, because like you said, man, a lot of people end up being what I call church hurt, trying to play the church game instead of just being you and a follower of Christ and a lover of Jesus. So, bro, for you to use your public platform to actually say that, I give you kudos and being unashamed and bold enough to say things like that. So transitioning that into your album that just came out last year, bro.
Yeah.
And like I said, I talked to you when other albums, Anomaly, came out. We talked this album, and I know I'm going back because it was just last year, man. Your growth on it, right?
Mm-hmm.
Where was your headspace at the time when I'm releasing a new album?
I kind of was, so in putting the album together, I really didn't care about saving face. It's like, I'm gonna just tell it all. And everybody don't have to tell it all publicly like I did, but I said I was gonna do that because God had been so good to me. It brought me out such a dark place that I was like, it's just like one of them spaces where I remember sitting and reading, and Peter had abandoned Christ, and then Christ found him, and he was like, go and feed my sheep. You know what I'm saying? And that's how I felt. Like, I'm about to go feed these folks, and I'm real raw. And that's the process I went into doing restoration. Is like, man, let me just spill out where I'm at in my journey with the Lord right now. And then it was like, we're in a whole pandemic, people are panicking, hurting, and I'm like, let me put some hope in the atmosphere, and let me put some, because that's what really being a believer is about. It's about bringing peace
Yeah.
to the world. You know what I mean? So that's what I wanted to do with the album.
Man, love that, and you can tell with all of the things, and a lot of people might not even know, just what you just said through your music, but through your life, bro. You started doing this philanthropy stuff, and I was reading. Let's talk about. I think was it called Peace Prep Academy,
Yep.
and you buying
Yep.
up the block and all that, man. Let's talk about where you are in your philanthropy.
Yeah. Wherever I'm at, I plant roots. And so, in when in every city, like I've been when I'm in Houston, I was dealing with Habitat for Humanity, building houses, helping out with the floods. When I was in Memphis, I moved into the hood, and we just started changing the hood in Memphis. And since I've been in Atlanta, for me now, it's like, how do I serve? You know what I mean? And how do I bring peace and hope to the city? So there's a neighborhood called the Bluff. A lot of people seen the movie Snow on the Bluff. It's like one of the most drug infested communities. It's dangerous. And there hadn't been a school there for 20 years.
Wow.
And so I partnered with my friend Benjamin Wills, and we planted a school called Peace Prep Academy. We started building affordable living around the school, and only allowing people from the community to live there, not gentrifying it, but amazing apartments that dignify the community. And a barbershop is going to be open across the street. Another shop is going to be open across the street. I got another shop on the corner. And just, man, how do we bring life to the community? And so I work with my buddy Terrence Lester in terms of helping out the people who are experiencing homelessness. And all of it is not to big up me, but it's to really say, man, look, let me be an example of what bringing peace to people looks like. So in your own small way, maybe you'll be inspired to do the same thing.
Yeah, man. And I don't know if that sparked in 2020 when everything else was birthed or exposed or brought out of us. But moving forward into 21 and 22 and moving forward, man, what was your biggest take on how God moved through 2020? Because when you look back, man, you start saying 2020. First thing people say is, man, right? And but then a lot of us can look up and go, man, I grew right here, I stretched right here, right? So how would you say if you were talking 5 years from now, what this period of our life did for you?
Um, well, I'll tell you what it did for me, and then I'll tell you what I think it's doing for us collectively. For me, it gave me some stronger legs to stand on my own too, and not be concerned about what everybody else thinks.
Man,
You know what I mean?
yeah,
It just showed me that I could do some things that I didn't believe was possible, and I just needed to trust the Lord,
yeah,
and stuff could happen. What I think collectively is happening is, man, some of the walls and some of the ideas that we have of what this faith is are being torn down.
yeah,
And I think that's helpful. I think that we getting back to what is real
yeah,
and what is sincere, and not the facade of Christianity. Being a Christ follower is not about all this fluff and pomp and circumstance that just had to disappear
yeah.
after COVID came along. And we can get back down to business, man. Get back down to the nitty gritty.
I love it. Speaking of that business, bro, well, what's this? You just signed. What's up with Reach, man? You signed Hovey, new song, Reasons. Let's talk about it.
Man, Hovey's a problem.
Beast. Yeah,
He's a problem.
yeah,
People don't know Hovey's a problem, and he's not just talented. He's passionate about his faith, and to me, it's like that's what we was aiming for. Is like, man, folks saw us ascend the hill, Grammys and platinum plaques and all this stuff,
yeah,
and I think people thought that, man, within Christian hip hop, that was the goal.
mm,
That just was the byproduct of us doing what God called us to do.
yeah.
So the awards and plaques and charts was never the goal.
Right.
That just came with us trying to be faithful with what God put in front of us. And so they expected us to sign people who was gonna be able to get the plaques and fit in with the mainstream.
Right.
And that's never been our goal. So we want people who got a heart for the Lord, who are passionate about their faith, and who got talent.
Yeah.
And Hobie got talent,
Yeah.
brother. Talent. Yeah.
When it comes to reach and the next chapter for the artist on the label, because I know a lot of artists probably I mean he probably hit you every day like, bruh, I want to be down, I want to feature, right? What is reach looking for, or what pops to Lecrae to go, that's where the genre needs to go?
Yeah, I think first it's character. You know what I'm saying? Because character tells me you moldable, you able to be taught, and you can learn, and you humble enough to be shaped, and
Yeah.
not just by me, but by any person who's wise and who's bringing wisdom to you. Character, and then it's capability. Are you capable of really becoming and being the type of artist that it takes, to move in these spaces, to be a leader? You
Yeah.
know what I mean? And we tend to look for leaders too.
Yeah.
So if you know you're just not wired to be a leader, then we probably aren't the right place for you. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because we really groom leaders. We're gonna put you out in front of folks, and folks are gonna look at you as an example. So that's a big piece.
I'm gonna jump into your new stuff that you got going on, because I definitely want to talk about the mixtape. If you're just watching Lecrae Inside the Marcus in the morning on NGEN radio, but man, what you just said right there reminded me of I remember we were talking about Anomaly, and there was a I want to say an interlude on that album where you were talking about being an anomaly in this Christian faith-based music subgenre, whatever you want to call this thing, bro.
Mhm.
Real quick, just whatever comes to your heart. Talk about the pressure. You just talking about being a leader, right? And that's what
Mhm.
you're looking for. People don't understand the pressure of leading in this genre, bro. I got a morning show. Like I have to. We were talking about the churchy thing when we doing this faith based thing. Talk about the pressure of being a leader on in this field.
I say this all the time. If you're gonna call shots, you're gonna take shots. So if you're not prepared to take some shots, then this is not the place for you. You know what I mean? Because being a leader is about being able to see a mob coming at you, and you being able to look them in their face, turn around, and lead them somewhere. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, sir.
Because that's really what's going to happen. Is every day a mob's coming at you
Yeah.
about something different.
Yeah.
Every day a different lie or a different idea, or someone's going to misunderstand what you said. And to me, Jesus is the perfect leader, because he was so misunderstood they killed him.
Man.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, they wanted him to be something he wasn't, and they didn't appreciate what he was. And I think that's part of leadership, is understanding that people are going to want you to be something that you are not. You are not meant to be praised that highly or criticized that harshly. You know what I mean? But you're gonna have to keep going.
Yeah. Lecrae over here preaching on NGEN radio, Marcus in the morning. Like I'll piggyback on that. And I always think like this, man. Jesus did nothing to nobody, and look what they did to him. You know what I'm saying? Like he did
Boy,
nothing wrong to nobody, and look what it. So
boy.
for us Christians or people that want to jump into this faith-based lifestyle, be prepared. You're gonna get, like you said, that mob might be from other Christians. Like it could be very well that much. Now, musically, bro, church closed for. We don't do the rumor stuff, but church closed for mixtape for. Let's get in there.
Yeah, yeah.
You
I mean,
inspired right now.
I'm in a good space, and you know, I'm in the kitchen, man, and we trying out different. I'm tasting the sauce every time we cook up some sauce. I'm tasting it and seeing, is this what we need? It matters to me, a lot of stuff I'm trying to do with this, and so I think people are going to be surprised at what's taking place behind the scenes, and it's a couple amazing things that I want to do with it. But I want people to be able to see it. I don't want to tell y'all what it is. I just want you to be able to see and appreciate um what I'm trying to do. And the biggest thing for me always know is that um I I want other people to get an opportunity, you know, whether that is younger Christians to get an opportunity to use their gifts, whether that is people outside of the faith to be able to wrestle with what this is, whether that's people who aren't traditionally seen as Christian artists, but who love the Lord to have a platform to say what's on their heart. I love just people having the opportunity, and so that's a lot of what we trying to cook up in the
Yeah,
kitchen right now.
yeah. So that's gonna trend whenever that get ready to drop. So get ready for that. But if you just scroll the streets of Instagram right now, non-believers jamming is coming in hot. Like the other day, I'm looking and I'm like, wait, y'all ain't on that CH. Like, what do you know about this coming in hot?
Right.
Man, how did this thing bubble back up, bro?
You know what? It's crazy. We knew the song was something special when we cooked it up, but it's always about having an advocate in the building somewhere. You know what I mean? So everywhere, and this is how we really should roll as believers, is we should look out for each other when we get in unique spaces and places. So in different spaces and places, whether it be at labels or with companies, or whether you are the photographer or fashion assistant for a major artist or something, those people have gotten behind the song and incorporated it in their spaces. And shout out to Caleb Natali, because he really kind of jumped it off by using it with Will Smith's first TikTok. You know what I'm saying? And so, but it's been people like that our whole career that have just put us in places where we wouldn't otherwise be, because they knew that the kingdom needed to be represented in these spaces and places. And man, you know, if you work in mainstream anything, if you work at the post office, figure out a way to leverage
Yeah,
what you do for the sake of the kingdom. You know
yeah.
what I'm saying?
I absolutely love that because each and every day is an opportunity to show non-believers, unbelievers, don't want to be believers, how, and I always say how dope being a Christian is, man. And with that being said, uh, how do you see when Lecrae first popped, you kind of you took CHH, you took faith-based hip hop to another level, right?
Mhm.
You're getting ready to drop another mixtape, coming in hot, coming back, Hovey, Reasons, Reach doing what they're supposed to be doing. What is it going to take for our genre to ascend even more to next chapter?
One, I think it's gonna take us believing in ourselves and not being embarrassed of ourselves and challenging ourselves to be great and to be dope. If you don't love what you about, nobody else is gonna love what you about. You know what I'm saying? And this is coming from somebody who historically was trying to shed the titles and the labels, because and not because, you know, I did not appreciate what was going on in the culture, but because I didn't know another way to move in them spaces and places. You know, it was trial and error. But now I realize, hindsight's 2020, and I realize, man, when you are passionate about your space or your culture or your thing, other people want to know what it is that you love so much.
Yeah,
So we gotta be excited about it. We
right.
gotta work on our craft and be dope and not want an affirmation from anybody else or accolade. You know, I was in the studio with Andy the other day, and I was telling him, because you know, it's kind of like, man, what, you know, so many different artists want to be on a coming in hot remix.
Mm-hmm.
And in my brain, I was thinking, man, you know what? You don't need nobody to make to validate this. You know
Mm-hmm.
what I'm saying? Like, you just keep making great music and let other people say, wow, what's going on over there?
Right.
So if no one ever jumps on the bandwagon, man, we got to care about what we're doing, and we got to put more energy, emphasis, and talent into it.
Man, um, I appreciate like all you've done. The way we'll talk about have you been leading the culture? It's a lot. It's I hear it every day on the morning shows. A lot of people that found God, found Christ, found Christian hip hop through your works, and we even go back and play a lot of the old stuff now, along with some of the restoration. And when it's church club, I'm gonna be on on that too. But man, you're gonna get this question pretty much every day or in other interviews, man. what is something that you just kind of want to talk about that we may as journalists or media people may not be asking about Reach or Lecrae or your faith or something, you know. Let's call this part say what you want to say.
Well, you know, man, I think we have to we really gotta, you know, like I was just saying before, we can become crabs in a barrel and tear each other down instead of lifting each other up.
Yeah.
In my own marriage, you know, if I don't like the shoes my wife got on, I don't look at her and say, babe, them shoes ain't it. Them got to go. You know, I probably have the currency to say that now because we know each other, we love each other.
Right.
But I encourage her towards something better.
Yeah.
Hey, babe, what if you wear those?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Encourage her towards something better. So instead of us always tearing each other down and, man, he fake. He didn't say Jesus enough times. He didn't do this. He didn't do that. Hey, man, I appreciate how you did this. Man, if you ever do this, this might be good. Or have you ever thought about this? Yeah. Encourage each other toward different things instead of discouraging and tearing each other down. And I'm speaking, listen, this is the pot calling the kettle black. I done all of it. You feel me? I done been the hypocrite, all of this stuff. You know, I was just having a conversation with some young dudes, and man, they killed about 50 demons in the song. And I said, bro, listen, I hear you wanting to be mad at the devil, but have you ever killed a demon in real life? I'm just asking you. So when you say this in a song, what exactly do you mean? And I'm like, what if you talk about, you know, defeating or fighting your own sin or conquering? You know, there's real things you can be defeating, and there's some other things that you can be uplifting. So you ain't always got to be, you know, on the offense. Sometimes our offense is defense. It's saying, I'm trusting God. That's my offense. You know what I'm saying? So just doing more stuff like that instead of saying, man, I don't like them. They always killing demons in their song. You know what I mean? It's like, stop tearing.
I'm going to ask this and get you out of here. A lot of people go watch this on YouTube. I can see them hit me in the comments. Marcus, you didn't even ask him. What we doing with the fro, baby? What we doing, dog?
Oh, look, man, I'm just letting my hair breathe. Okay. You know what I'm saying? I'm just letting it breathe. That's all it is. It's been braided up so much. Yeah. And you know what I'm saying? I just needed a little time to let the scalp and the follicles breathe a little bit, you know, before I get back to, you know,
so you get back right. I love it, dog.
Man.
Lecrae, man, I appreciate you stopping through. Anytime, man. Anytime you got new stuff, looking for Church Clothes 4 mixtape, Hovey Reasons. I'm playing it tomorrow on the morning show. So definitely, man, keep them over there cooking and keep putting it out, man. Don't stop.
And stay tuned, man. We got One Day coming. We got 1K Few coming. RG coming. It's finna be a crazy year. So stay tuned.
All right. Lecrae, Inside of Marcus in the morning right here on NGEN Radio.